Andrea, we're going to talk about Hallmark's May for Moms. And I have to tell you, I tried giving May for Moms to my wife for Mother's Day, and now she's since taken the kids. She's moved out. Hallmark did me a dirty. Are you ready to talk about the May for Mom movies?
Let's do it.
All right, well, this is Eric.
And this is Andrea.
And this is Hallmark Mysteries and More.
And more.
Before we get going, I just have to say, I don't even understand the May for Moms theme for this movies. It was random. And now I'm sitting here all alone by myself in my house because I thought I had a great gift for my wife for Mother's Day. And it had nothing to do with moms the entire month. So Hallmark, I don't know what the hell's going on.
I mean, maybe there's a mom in the movies, I guess.
Sure. We will
but
go
would
with
agree.
That.
They're not overly mom-heavy movies, so
I think it's a ChatGPT, like, hey, give us a title for the month. And there we go. Just in line with the Hallmark, some of the Hallmark marketing promotions that they've been doing.
It definitely
lately.
sounds like a marketing thing. And
I don't get it. I don't get it.
No.
What, do you have anything fun to talk about?
Okay, so I have one. You know how I've been saying I want to diagnose this murder on the Hallmark Plus app, and it was released on the Hallmark Plus app. So I'm very excited about that. Maybe Murder, She Wrote will be next. The one thing that's nice is there's no commercials. And so you can just like binge the episode without having the 1,000 commercials that are on like the regular Hallmark Channel. So exciting. Have you watched any of it?
I have not, but you have been watching that on Friendly, right?
No, it was on the Hulu.
Oh,
so
Hulu, but it was the replay. That's what it was. Okay. So now you get
3-minute commercial breaks, and now you can just binge. So I started with episode 1, and I will say this. I remember the first episode, the first few, I would even say the first season, it's kind of finding its legs. Right. It's a completely different, it's different cast of characters by the last season as well. And the hospital looks different. So
was this one that's like, because I'll be honest, I've never seen an episode of it ever. And it's kind of like Murder, She Wrote, right? So is this one though that went on?
Maybe we'll have to do some reviewing of that.
Okay. Well, we have no new mysteries.
I can pick out like 5 episodes like we did for Murder, She Wrote. That would be kind of fun.
Okay.
And get people to watch it because I do like it. And I think people will just, it's not like people don't love Dick Van Dyke, but you just fall in love with him, like as Dr. Sloan. He's so good.
Is it like Murder, She Wrote, though, where there's 23 seasons? Like, did it go on forever, or?
I think is there what? I want to say 8?
Okay, so not crazy
not as many.
long,
it's not
but
as many. Yeah.
Definitely, almost a decade, sounds like. So.
Yes. And the hospital changes. And so this one, it's a much more stark contrast from start season to finishing season. Dr. Mark Sloan's house vastly improved because he's a doctor in LA, so of course he's probably making bank.
Wait, I thought it was like a small town hospital.
No, it's in Malibu. No, it's out in Malibu. So
all right.
So it's a really fun, and his son actually plays his son
right
in the show, and by the end his grandchildren are in there quite a bit, and he has the whole family. So we can watch some of those. I think that would be kind of fun for you since you haven't seen them. Now, I will say the other things that I'm watching, because I think you sent me this, the castle renovation show.
All right.
So I have been watching it. They are not, so just a heads up, it's on HBO Max. I think it might be on a regular like HGTV. And then HBO Max has it. And it's just one castle. And so it's just this couple who moved from California. This lady, the gal, inherited a castle and out just south of Paris. Her grandmother still lives in Paris, and her grandpa had this castle. And so now they're trying to renovate it. And so
wait. Big step back. She's a Californian who inherited a castle in France.
Yeah.
This literally is a Hallmark movie.
Yeah. Well, and the amount of money that they have for these renovations is just mind-boggling because they are probably younger than me or around my age. And I'm like, how do you have this much money to renovate projects? Because they're like, we've set aside $100,000 for this room. We've set aside, $35,000 for the bathroom, whatever. They're just like going about and throwing these numbers out. And so I've only watched, I think I'm on episode 3, but they kind of a teaser. They have this castle. They're actually not going to live in this castle. It doesn't sound like that's where they do the weddings. So they renovated a room for like a bedroom in the castle. But the cost to keep the electricity on month to month if they would live there is $350,000.
Oh
So,
my.
needless to say, I don't think they're actually going to be living in this castle. And that's just like, I don't know if that was the electricity or the heat. That's just one of the bills. So, they are also renovating this hunter's lodge, which is on the property. And I think that's going to be their main house. It's still amazing. It's still huge, but it's not a castle. And this castle, again, has a dungeon. I mean, it's a fun little show. So, if you're into castles and you want to see this, plus the couples, like fun enough personalities that you're kind of into it. And then they have like friends that are coming in and they have local contractors and it's kind of a cute little show.
Well, this is a great segue for we're going to be talking about Love in the Danube in a little bit. And I have been on a couple river cruises, and one of the highlights for me of river cruises, first of all, you see like 70,000 churches, right? But every now and then you do go to the castles that have the dungeons and all of those sort of things. And for me, those are the most fun. So I think that that sounds pretty cool. And I have to assume when they made a castle in 1560 or whenever they made said castle, they were not really thinking about their electric bill at the time.
Oh no, 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 not at all. I mean, it's yes, you I think you would like it. It's kind of if so if you like castles, that would be one. And then my last show I wanted to mention, because I find myself I start shows and then I'm like, stop them. I'm halfway finished. So I literally with the castle one, it's I have to be in the mood to watch it and just to chill laid back. I've also been binging now season 2 of Poker Face. And I don't know if did you ever watch Poker Face?
How about season one?
Did you like it?
It was okay. It kind of got redundant-y for me with her like
So,
always walking into said
okay.
issues. But I mean, obviously it's the theme. It's
And it's very predictable mystery. So I
right.
would think if you do enjoy mysteries, so I just started, I'm now like I've been binging it since last night. So that's how much I loved the show in season 1 and I'm loving season 2. I had kind of pushed off watching it because I wanted to binge a few episodes. So now they're 6 deep and they're released every week for the next few weeks.
Is it
And
Netflix?
no, it's Peacock.
Peacock. Okay.
And so they have Brady from The Way Home is in this last episode
All
as like a
right.
gator cop. So he plays a very different character. So he was kind of fun to see. But I would definitely give that a go if you're kind of craving some mysteries. I enjoy it, especially like Monk. I mean, this is one where they show you, you know what happens and
Right.
you are privy to that. And then you get to kind of go along with the ride of how the main character, how
Well,
she figures it out.
that's like essentially Columbo. That's the premise
Yeah,
of Columbo is it's not the who done it, it's the how,
how you did it.
right? And yeah.
So if you don't like those mysteries, you probably wouldn't like it. But if you do, it's kind of a fun little show.
I'll say the one thing about it, and I forget what her name is, like Natasha something.
Uh-huh.
Like her personality, her character, I think sometimes people are just like, she annoys me, I'm out. So she
Yeah,
does have a very
strong
bold
personality.
personality. So if you get, if you can jive with it, yeah, it's got, some of those fun mystery traits.
Yeah. Well, that's what I had for you.
Well, I'm just sitting here, like I say, sad, lonely man since my family all left me thanks to
Made for
the
Moms.
May for Mom. So what do you say we get and discuss those movies?
Will do. And also, one note, my Timberwolves are officially
I
out of the
know.
playoffs. So, unfortunately, I have a lot of free time now. There's no more basketball to watch. So, hence why I got to watch these shows this week because they lost. So, no more Timberwolves updates in case anyone's wondering. All right. So, first movie that kicked off May for Moms was on Derby weekend, Hats Off to Love. Stella designs hats and fascinators for socialite Rosalind and meets her son Christian, who's training a horse to compete in the Louisville Derby. This stars Gina Claire Mason, John Clarence Stewart, and Holly Robinson Peete. For me, I gave this 4 stars. I really enjoyed this one. I found the racing, the hats, the romance to really work for me. I am also going to 100% contradict myself if you listen to our Private Eyes episode with the horse racing. Just a caveat there. But I enjoyed all of the actors.
You know what's funny? I didn't even put two and two together
Oh yeah, I
that we
love
have the two
horses.
horse racings.
So my expectations for this movie were really low. Like I thought I was going to hate it, and so I was pleasantly surprised. This is probably one of the topper, I would say, fourth of the movies for me this year because they've been pretty low. So I thought it was cute. It was fun. It's one that I wouldn't seek out to watch again, but if it's on in the background, I wouldn't mind tuning in. What about you?
I think to be in this movie, you have to have three names because, as you
Uh,
said, Holly Robinson Pete, Gina
John
Claire Mason,
Clarence
and
Stewart.
John Clarence Stewart. I don't know, just a weird coincidence. It was really nice seeing Holly Robinson Pete again. She's obviously just a lovely person who is, not the ageism, but, her roles in the Hallmark movies is going to be changing. Where now last time a few times we've seen her, she's been the mom and sort of going in that. And so it's always nice to see her. I thought she was a fun, nice character in it. I would say that Gina Claire Mason is proving to be a pretty solid lead. I don't think she's been in personally. Oh, you gave it a four. I would give it a marginal three. It just was, ho hum for me. It wasn't terrible, wasn't great, but it's Gina Claire Mason. I think she is just proving, like I said, to be a really good lead. She's likable. She's got charisma. She's fun. Then we get to see John Clarence Stewart, who this is his first Hallmark. He seemed great, despite I think I want to see him again because I don't know if it was kind of cardboardy, but I don't know if it was the role or him, and I don't think it's him. So I just think it was, they didn't give him a lot of fun to the character. It was just sort of a ho hum role, and then it's just for me, it's a no win with the exception of Crimes of Fashion, the mystery with Brooke D'Orsay. Hallmark just should stay away from fashion. It never ever looks good. I went back and I thought about what's her name? Rebecca Dalton was in the Head Over Heels with the shoes, and the shoes were just looked like he went, to Target and got some shoes. And then she was also Head Over Heel, or no, excuse me, it was but a design Christmas by Design. Yeah, Christmas by Design, where she designed those hideous pajamas. It's like the hats, I don't know. They just were not what I would like. I watched my wife is when she was still with me, was all into the Kentucky Derby. And so we watch it and you see all these just
Wait, did she actually
magnificent.
watch this?
No, she did not watch the show.
Oh, I
Of
was
course.
like,
No, she watches the actual Kentucky
oh,
Derby.
okay.
And we watch it for like, I don't know, 3 hours because they start
That's funny.
coverage pretty much showing the owners drinking mint juleps all the way through the race, and she loves her horse racing.
Gosh.
Well, for the major things, and the hats are just these magnificent things, and these ones look like the little kitty hats or something like that. So I don't know. It's a nice try, but they just never can pull off the fashion stuff, and to me, it ends up being kind of like almost comical about how they're not great.
Well, let's see if you enjoyed Love in the Clouds anymore. So, reporter Brooklyn travels to the balloon fiesta to meet hot air balloon pilot Jared, who offers romantic balloon rides but is closed off to love himself. This starred Paul Green, Mackenzie Westmore, Gail O'Grady, and Lorenzo Lamis. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 as well, and it's probably one of my favorites of the year. I know people hated this one, but I found it cute and delightful. I would watch it again. I enjoyed both of the leads. I liked the message overall and like finding yourself. I liked the balloons. I think her TV boss was the worst ever, and loved the rushed happy ending. I mean, this is a very old Hallmark vibe. So if you enjoyed the earlier Hallmark movies, like I don't mind the earlier Hallmark movies. So for me, this felt right in that like nostalgia feel for me. So I enjoyed it. I know a lot of people talked about Mackenzie and her looks, which I find atrocious. Like I don't ever like to
100% agree with
comment
you.
on people's looks. I thought she looked just fine. Like I did not notice anything, but the comments online were brutal. And I'm like, I don't, she's like Paul, they're the same age-ish, right?
Uh,
I didn't look it up, but I think they're in the same ballpark here.
I think he's
So
like 3 years. And you know that's a big thing for me, right? I want to say I think he's like 3 years older than she is. So
Yeah, like
totally reasonable.
I don't understand that. And I mean, for me, I liked it because they are, I think there's a lot of people who are in their 40s and wanting to watch Hallmark. And yeah, they might be having found love for the first time. Shocker, in their late 40s, that's okay. It's okay to watch that on screen. Like, that's where I kind of like really took offense when people kind of got up in arms about that. I'm like, I want to see that now that I'm also, I'm in my 40s, just turned 40, almost going to be 41, I guess. But that is where I think the audience, we want to see that. And then, of course, a lot of the ladies online maybe were a little even older in the 60s and 70s who didn't want to see that, which is also interesting. It's just an interesting dynamic. And like woman on woman crime. Don't get me started here. The patriarchy, Eric, I could just go on. So
I'm
this
with you.
movie, that it triggered me in some capacity there because I'm like, ugh. But I found it delightful. I know you didn't like this movie, but for me, I enjoyed it.
Well, before I go into my review, I'm gonna just comment on you. I agree with you, everything you said, 1,000%. The other thing about it is what I actually do like about the movie is, as you said, they're right around 50 years old, but they handled the relationship like they're right around 50 years old. He had this like emotional baggage that he was just like, I'm shut off. I'm not going to do it. I've turned it off. And she, talks about how she always is picking the wrong guy. She's, overly romantic and ends up, it never meets her expectations. And so I could see you go through life that way where you just never quite get in those relationships, right? And so I thought they dealt with them as 50-year-olds. And I'd much rather see this way of the way they dealt with the relationship than when they have people the same age and they're showing them being like, oh, I'm just like randomly falling in love, waiting for you. And it is sort of like that first love type thing for people who are this age because people want to see their favorite, you know, actors in that kind of role, but that's a role where you are when you're in your 30s, okay? But when you are 50, and I'm sorry, like when, yes, you have a Nikki DeLoach who I love, Allie Sweeney who I love, they can't really be in that same little role because otherwise it's silly. So I thought that I agree with you, they handled it very nicely in that aspect. But let's get to what it was. I thought I hit my head and I woke up and it was 2018 because this, yes, is so old school. I'm pretty sure what happened was Hallmark's like, damn it, we need, there's 5 weekends in May. We need another movie. Quick, production company. What do you got? And the guy like walked over, looked to his filing cabinet, dusts off the script, and it's like, you know, blows up. Oh, well, let's just make this one. I don't know what it is. And they made it because it is literally, like you said, old school Hallmark through and through. I have to say, I but I didn't really buy so much into I love the relationship between the leads. I did like the mom and dad. I found them great. And then the assistant and well, I guess they're the both assistants. I enjoyed those two. So I thought the two secondary relationships were the most fun of the relationships there. And I will say positive for me, I love flash forwards. So when they gave it the flash forward, I'm like, okay, this movie just redeemed itself. Terrible. I have to assume that's or green screen in there in the things because it did not look real, but whatever. It, it was fun. It was cute. It's a little cringy though, doing the proposal with, everyone watching. I guess maybe I'm more of a private proposal person than public proposal person, but whatever. Um, and then speaking of cringy, I think if you were watching the news and you saw her little broadcast on there, you'd be like, what the hell am I watching? This like woman's making out with the balloonist dude and everything. It just was a little bit whatever, Hallmark worldy. So I don't know. I give it 1.87.
Oh
It
gosh.
was not it was not up in the clouds for me. It was like down in the dirt. It was more when the basket lands and tips and falls over. That's the feeling I had watching this. I texted you, as you know, I was like a third of the way in there. I'm like, how did you love this one? But you know
It was
what? That's
fun.
the beauty of Hallmark.
That
Everyone
was
likes
fun.
what they like, right?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Well, now we're going to go to the Danube. Ugh. Love on the Danube. Love
You can
song.
beat me up now.
Fellow cruise passengers Sarah and Jack play matchmaker with their music loving widowed parents as they cruise down the Danube visiting European cities. This stars Nazneen Contractor and Wes Brown. 2 out of 5. Snooze fest for me. Really didn't like this one. I found it boring. I usually enjoy both of those leads, and they couldn't save the lack of anything going on in this movie. Shout out to Jenny, who does the previews with us on our Christmas movies. She was an extra on this one. And so if you paused it, I had to have her tell me which part because I
The
really
library, it's a
struggled.
library, right? That's
Yeah,
what
I
it
really
is.
struggled to pay attention in this movie, so I totally missed it. Um, but these are not my favorite. I watched them and have not revisited them since last fall. I think when they were on Hallmark Plus, I liked one better than the other two. It's not this one though. So this one is a no-go for me. I will not watch it again, nor did I revisit it, nor did I have any more notes on it because I don't want to revisit it. Eric?
Well, I'll give it a 3. And I have to say, honestly, I think it was January when these came out. I think they were all New Year, not
Nope.
that, because it was
They were in the
groomsmen.
fall. I
They
looked
were?
back through my Instagram to look at my notes for my reviews
Okay.
here because I was
Well,
like, wow, how long ago did these air? And they were right around the Christmas batch, which also
okay.
poor timing on Hallmark Plus with all of these.
I My main thing, and this will go for the next 3 movies, I'm just disappointed that we're reviewing quote unquote new movies that
That we
aired
saw
six
last year.
months ago,
Yeah.
right? And it just, I don't know. It takes away the whole thing of, oh, hey, we're getting on Plus to get this new fresh content you're not getting anywhere. It's just okay, it's taking me a little while longer and I'll get it on the channel. So whatever, whole
Can I
other
also
conversation.
say my Hallmark Plus? I went to the Hallmark store and I asked the lady how to use. I'm like, oh, I have Hallmark because they had the thing right there on the counter. I
Right.
said, oh, I have Hallmark Plus. Don't I have rewards or points? Because I was buying cards. And she goes, oh, I actually don't know how to like find that or use that. And I'm like, what the heck? I mean, I don't even, so I don't either because I've never tried to use it. But I'm like, well, what's the point of then this Hallmark Plus? Like, isn't that supposed to be a bonus of us
Right.
going into the store?
Your five
Nobody knows
dollars
how
of
to use
coupons
it.
a month.
Right. And she didn't know how to find it. And I'm like, well, that's a bummer.
I guess I enjoyed the movie for what it was. It was it great? No. Was it terrible? No. But it was enjoyable. Like I said, I'm not rushing out to watch it again or anything like that.
Have
I
you
do
watched it
wish
again?
we had the what?
Have you watched it again since it
I watched
originally
it
aired?
twice. I watched,
Oh,
yeah.
mm.
Well, unlike you, I prepared for this.
No, Eric, I'd rather watch Poker Face. Sorry.
And I will say, I think Nazine, she's a strong lead that's completely underutilized. I like her. I think she's really good. And I think I wish she was in more. I thought her and Wes had some good chemistry. I like the parents trying to hook up the parents and do that whole thing of which then they fall in love. It was fun. And then Catherine Dishner, whatever, give me her in a movie, and I think everything's always just better that she's in there. And then my final note was, yeah, we got to see Jenny Hever cameo. So, I guess I say 3. No, 3 is actually better. I'll give it a 2.75 because it was not terrible. It was not great. It was just whatever. If it's on, you like to call those background movie.
This is
That's
not a
what this
background for
was.
me. No, this is
This
a
was like have it
completely
on,
skip. No,
make on the iPad, make breakfast or lunch,
no,
and do all those sort
no,
of things while you're going, and then I'll be
no.
good. So there you go. Let's spin around and cruise down the river again.
All right, now we're hitting the Royal Getaway. A jilted art gallery manager takes her honeymoon, cruise solo, and meets a charming prince posing as a European gentleman who shares her passion for art. This stars Jessica Sipos, Dan Gianette, Catherine Drysdale, Catherine Dusher. Well, another 2 out of 5, another snooze fest. I have less notes on this than the other one. What would make this series worse for me? Throw in the royal element with bad accents. So this is it. My highlight, I wrote Catherine Disher. That is all the notes I have on this. I literally cannot recall anything else about this movie. So I clearly was paying zero attention. And no, I will not revisit it. I'm sorry.
Well, you know how I feel about royal movies.
Yeah, so this
They're
has to be your least,
they're
right?
not my jam at all, but I have to say I didn't hate this one. And the only reason why,
Almost spit my copy out.
the only reason why is I thought the leads, the two of them, were just enjoyable together. They were just great chemistry. Individually, I liked them both. I thought it was just a movie with the two of them, and I couldn't tell you really. Yeah, they were doing the art stuff, and all of that was just waste for me. Just have them sit around and chat. And that was the thing because the two of them were just gold together, and everything else, whatever. I thought, and the calling it a honeymoon, by the way, it was a year later. It still is the fun trope. You know, it's the two tickets to paradise, which I love that. Taking the honeymoon by yourself after you've been jilted. But it is, she did take it like a year later. So it's not like really right then. It's like, oh, I'm not going to let my, whatever, my ticket go to waste kind of thing. It's already paid. So it was that. And then, but Joe, Dan's character. His beard at the beginning was so fake. It was like as bad as Jodie Sweetin's wig in Murder at
Now
Mosby.
I did watch that movie again.
So whatever. I really just thought the two leads were just magical together, and that's kind of all that I'm left with after this movie.
How many stars?
2.751.
I love how you do. Okay. Can't just do a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All
It's
right.
not good enough to be a three, and it's not bad enough to be a two.
Kissing Stars. Savannah, a publicist, reluctantly works with Trip, a celebrity who is having trouble connecting with his fans abroad, a cruise promoting his latest film. This stars Sarah Power, Brendan Penny, Catherine Drysdale, and Catherine Disher. This is a 3 out of 5 for me. This was my favorite of the movies. Brendan and Sarah were able to carry the movie. And then I think Catherine and Sarah being reunited felt like seamless chemistry there from Good Witch. And this entire series is not one I'm gonna revisit, even this movie. So I gave it the highest. Mostly they also could have worn me down because sometimes when you get these, like you're just kind of at the point where you're like, okay, I see where we are. The bar is not high. So I mean, you throw in though, you got Brendan Penny and Sarah Power. I prefer them of these leads. Actually, I really like Wes Brown, but just hated that movie so much. So that's why I figured this has got to be my favorite because this I didn't hate it, just found it kind of blah again.
All right, well, I said earlier that Nazine was underutilized. That is nothing compared to Sarah Power. She is lovely. She's great. I wish she was in a movie every year. She's great. And like you said, it was fun seeing the Good Witch reunion with Abigail and Martha. So that was fantastic. I don't clearly we don't watch the same movies because I thought there was absolutely no chemistry between the two of them. I thought like that was sort of the one thing at the two first movies that I thought both couples had at least had good chemistry that made those movies a little bit better. Whereas this one, I just I'll be honest, I thought Brad Penny was just kind of annoying. He was
Brendan
supposed to be,
Penny?
or excuse me, Brendan Penny. Yeah, I thought he was just supposed to be sympathetic, but he was just kind of annoying and a jerk to me, and I did not like his character at all. So for
I
me,
don't
this one,
I don't think we watched the same one at
two.
all.
Yeah,
Okay.
this was the worst of the three. This is when
Well,
the boat is ready to get retired. You're like, okay, we've had enough. Let's just pull it into dock and retire this boat.
well, let's get to our favorites of the month. Let's start with Best Romance, where I'm just going to pick up where we left off. Brendan Penny and Sarah Power. Best Romance. So again, that's why I'm like, clearly we don't watch the same movies because that was my pick.
Well, to keep the theme going, mine was Joe and Ava from Royal Getaway. So
Oh gosh.
my worst is your best, and your best is my worst, or whatever, vice
That's
versa.
hilarious.
Yes. So we clearly did not have that. And like I said, while the movie was not great, I just thought they had great chemistry, and despite the script flaws, and there were plenty, there
Well,
were plenty.
let's see if we line up in any of the other categories here. Favorite character of the month. I doubt you're going to have mine. I have Mackenzie Westmore in Love in the Clouds. I loved her play the
She's the lead,
reporter.
right?
She's the lead.
Yeah, yeah.
I found her tone of voice to be perfect for that reporter. I loved her character's arc, and I found herself. She found herself, and she found love in the end. And so for me, that's always a win. I saw growth in her. So I liked that character. Again, I know many did not, but my favorite of the month.
We're not very far off.
Oh,
Mine was Catherine Dishner.
we are very
Who
far.
found no love, had no character arc,
Oh.
but she is just so lovely that put her on the screen, put her in like who Bob Ross, that's the guy, right? Who paints the
Yeah.
little pretty flowers. To have her take over that series, I will watch every episode just because I will watch Catherine Dishner no matter what she does. And she's just absolutely a delight. And you know what? Get her in a holiday movie. Why has she not been in a holiday movie? We need more. Get her in one. Put her and Sarah Power in a holiday movie. So move
Well,
on.
favorite setting of the month.
This has
Mine,
to be agreeing.
hats off to love. No?
How
Okay.
can it not be the Danube? For as bad as
No.
the movies may have
I
been,
I
it's
thought, and I was like,
cruising through Europe and seeing castles and our old
country,
art
farm
museums.
setting, little cute shop where she worked on those, like that little farmhouse. Loved it. The Derby. I was all in on that farm setting. Of course, I'm going to pick hats off to
Here's
love.
my note. Is it even debatable?
Yes, it is. Clearly.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Andrew, see that May was just terrible. Can we agree on that at least?
Well, let's see if we agree on our ranking then. I
We
don't think we
don't.
are.
I
I don't think
guarantee we
so.
don't.
Well, my fifth
Wait,
movie,
before we go, here's what I will say. There is not a single movie of these five that I ever think I will intentionally watch again.
I would watch two again.
So
So there we go. My top two, I would pick again. Number five for me, Love on the Danube, love song.
for me, mine also starts with love, but mine is Love in the Clouds.
Number four, Love on the Danube, Royal Getaway.
Love in the Danube, Kissing Stars.
Number three, Love on the Danube, Kissing Stars.
I've got Love in the Danube, Love Song.
Number two, Hats Off to Love.
Oh, there we go. We finally have some agreement. Hats off to love for me, too.
And my number one, Love in the Clouds, your least favorite.
And once again, we match with the first word, love. Mine was Love on the Danube, Royal Getaway, which a royal movie you know I hate. And it really just comes down to I found the two characters' chemistry and them just great amongst a month of just completely blah, not too exciting movies. Hats off to Love actually probably had a little more going for it than I'll give it credit for. It just wasn't the strongest of scripts, and that fashion thing just made it kind of laughable to me at the end. But it would have been probably could have been number one if it wasn't for that.
Well, next week we are heading back to Mystery 101 with Words Can Kill and Private Eyes, episode 4 from season 1. So you can catch that next week. All right. Thanks, Eric.
All right, we're out of here.
This podcast was created by fans for fans and is not affiliated with or sponsored by Hallmark or the Hallmark Channel.